Okay. Oh, the sun is bright too. Picked a bad spot. I'm gonna be squinting. I need some sunglasses. If I like. If I had the camera right here, it'd be perfect. I can't see. Hello, what's going on everyone? Today's video, I really just want to talk about things that I wish I knew when I had started tricking, things that I wish I had done when I had started tricking, and then things that I wish I didn't do while tricking. So let's get right into it. I have a little typed out list of what I want to cover today. It's no specific order, I kind of just like whatever came right to my mind I wrote down. But first thing I got on here is actually the best advice I probably ever gotten for tricking, and it was actually from my father. I was just grass sessioning one day and he was recording me, and I was trying to do a combo, and let's just say it was a couple kicks to like a cart dub, and I kept messing up the kicks, so I would stop and I'd get a little frustrated, and you know, my dad would ask, like, why did I stop? So eventually he just told me, like, even if I mess up, just keep going. Like, I have to learn how to finish combos. Even if I mess up, like, it's okay. Like, I'll perfect it later. Just finish it first. So that really did help me finish combos and get better at combos, because I was just doing them instead of being so fixated on it being perfect. And, you know, like, this was early in my tricking, so my combos weren't going to be perfect anyways. So, you know, don't be so fixated on every trick in the combo. Just try and get it done and work on perfecting it after you've completed the combo. So, yeah. Next, I got diet and when to eat. So, diet. As a teenager, I didn't really have the greatest diet. I ate a lot of junk food, freezer food, fast food, all the bad stuff. And I really do think that if I had eaten better throughout that time, I would have tricked more consistently and would have had more energy and just would have been better, generally better at sessions, and would have felt better, all of it. So definitely recommend trying to cut out fast food from your life. As a teenager, it didn't really affect me so much. Now that I'm older, I'm about to be 23 in a couple weeks, my body really gets affected by fast food. I feel super heavy. Even if I have fast food the night before and the next day of session, like, I will still feel the heaviness at the session. I won't have enough power, as much power as I normally would have. And yeah, so, but when I don't eat like that and I cook at home, I always feel nice and light. And then also, timing when you eat is super important. Let's say I session at 12 p.m. I will not eat later than 10 a.m. I always try to eat 2 hours before my session or more, but not like 4 hours. Then I'll like be hungry at session. But another thing that's super important for at least me is staying hydrated. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water before session. I've always been one to constantly drink water while sessioning, almost after like every combo or pass that I do. And I've noticed a lot of people who won't drink anything the whole session, which is mind-blowing to me, but definitely recommend hydrating before. I hydrate during also, some don't, depends on your body, everyone's different. And then next on the list, we got study. Super important. This is like something that I did constantly when I started tricking. So what I mean by study is it's super important to record yourself, take that footage that you've recorded and compare it to one of your favorite trickers. Not only just one of your favorite trickers, try and compare it to a couple others too. And you might notice that between each of your favorite trickers, they might do things just a little bit differently. So what you want to do is compare yourself to them and see what you're doing differently to them, and try to imitate them when you go out and train again. And eventually, from comparing and trying different techniques over time, you might be able to develop your own technique, which is what I eventually did. And then other than studying, just watching, just tons of videos, samplers. When I first started tricking, samplers were huge, but nowadays it's all mainly on Instagram. But samplers, I would just sit there and just watch and just obsess over tricking and just dream about doing the tricks that I was watching other people do. Now, this doesn't really pertain to studying, but it is something kind of cool that I did notice a few years into my tricking. So when I first started, you know, I'd watch samplers, blah, blah, everything was crazy. And this was in 2010 when I first started. And then let's say around like 2013, I started to get better. I had double cork by then. And I went back and watched a sampler of Velu from 2009. And when I watched it in 2013 compared to 2010, it was way crazier because my understanding for tricking was way more. So I was able to really comprehend the difficulty of the transitions that Velu was doing way back in 2009. I actually like couldn't believe that he was like so far ahead of the game during that period. It was truly inspiring. Velu, if you're watching this, you're awesome. I love you. But yeah, just something that was like really interesting that I noticed later into my tricking. Anyways, let's move on to the next little aspect that I got on here. What I got on here is exercise. So I don't weight train. I never really have consistently weight trained. I have lifted weights in the past, like my brother used to have some, but I never consistently weight trained. The only thing that I did consistently do was a lot of floor exercises, push-ups, sit-ups, pike-ups, all that fun stuff. I'll throw the list of what it was actually my diving workout. So I started doing flips in 2006, tried gymnastics in 2007, didn't like it. And then in 2008, I signed up to diving practices, and I liked that. It was pretty fun to do, especially in the winter when I couldn't flip outside on the grass or anything. Actually, for the first like 5 years of my like flipping, I wasn't tricking yet even. I had no gym access. It was all just old mattresses and grass and trampoline. But when I would go to diving practice, we would stretch and do our little workout routine and then start practice. So that was the only consistent working out I did. And then by the 7th grade, which was 2011, I joined my high school varsity team and dove throughout high school, although I quit in like 9th grade and 11th grade or something, because by the time then I was super passionate about tricking and pretty fearful of diving. I hated smacking the water, and I hit the board like 2 times. Not fun, so there's that. But with exercise, that was the whole point of me talking about that. That was the only exercise I really did was for my practices. So I'll throw those exercises up. You can like screenshot this. Okay, so I realized that it was my diving workouts. You might not know what like a tuck out is, or with ladder sit-ups, you might call them something else, but I'm just gonna demonstrate a couple. So for ladder sit-ups, pretty simple. 20 sit-ups here, 20 sit-ups here, 20 here, 20 sit-ups here, and then back down 20, 20, 20. And then tuck outs, oh, that's my camera raising. And then tuck outs, it's supposed to be in preparation to diving into the water, but tuck out is simply just coming up tuck, kick, see the toes, look back, and pull through. But if you just want the exercise part and not like the diving technique, all you really need to do is just the tuck out part. And then for pike ups, same thing, just with a pike. And then if you want to get super crazy, you do double pike ups. Oh God, oh my God, I'm sorry. So I think those were just the ones that might have been a little confusing. And then for shin raises, I'll cover that later in the video. It'll be when I talk about the titanium ankles tutorial, so just look out for that. And let's get back to the video. As far as weight training, I definitely do recommend it. I've heard great things from a lot of people, like Mo Sarna, he loves to do weight training and deadlifts and lifting, and it seems like it really pays off because that kid's a beast, especially with triple core. Me and my fiance actually did sign up to Planet Fitness a couple months ago, but you know, during the pandemic, we were only able to work out for like a week, maybe like 6 days before all the gyms were closed in our county, and they've still been closed since like, I think October is around when we signed up. So to sum that up, I never really did weight training. I did do floor, I think it's plylo. I can't say the word for life of me, but floor exercise is what I did do. But weight training, I definitely do recommend it. But for me, training, just actually tricking was what helped me the most. Another thing, I'm really glad that I saw this and I actually just added it today. I've always had a huge problem with my left ankle, and I figured that it's primarily due to whenever I'm training a lot and my calf gets overused, it tightens up in the front of my ankle. So whenever I have a landing that's like my heel touches and I'm doing this is exactly this angle. If I hit this angle really hard, the pain will just be so sharp in the front of my ankle. It's awful. So I figured that massaging my calf helps, and also the titanium ankles tutorial. That exercise, I'll link it in the description. The whole video is actually pretty informative, but that exercise really saved me and helped strengthen my shins and stopped me from putting my heel on the ground when I'm landing, which eliminated that ankle pain. So if you have that ankle pain, you might know what I'm talking about. Highly recommend checking that out. And then also start loosening up your calf and massaging it. Next up on the list, we have, tools for recovery. So I didn't know about any of these tools for recovery until I went to my first tricking gathering. The first thing that I ever saw was a foam roller. Very simple. I'm sure you might have seen one of these. I got this one back in like 2014. It's still the same exact one I got. Would use this a lot. Roll up my calf, roll up my hamstrings. I would do here, you know, a lot of my legs I would do. Of course the back, and that's mainly it. And then a couple years later, I saw someone have this awesome tool. It's right here. It's called a Body Back Buddy. I'm sure there's a couple other brands. I got this one on Amazon. It was like 20 bucks. I think this was also 20 bucks. This I mainly use for my shoulders, my back obviously, on certain spots that are really tight. But this one's great for my neck and back. So these tools are super great if you're on a budget, but if you're not on a budget, I have some better tools. Still got this one in the box because the box is cool. But this right here is a RubBall. Let me open it. All right, right here. So I look at this thing just like the foam roller, except it vibrates. There's 3 separate settings. 1 to 2 is a big jump, and then 3 is just awesome. It's great. So yeah, it's pretty much replaced all of my uses for the foam roller. I only use my foam roller now to like crack my back. I love this thing. Shout out to RubBall for setting this. Like seriously, this thing is awesome. Saves my calf a lot. And then another awesome tool right here, the Hypervolt. You might have seen this. I know a lot of trickers nowadays have these. Hypervolt is my favorite. I've tried a couple other brands, but this is my favorite. It has a nice first setting all the way up to a nice and strong third setting. And then I've tried other couple brands. I don't remember what they were, but so far Hypervolt is my favorite. Shout out to them. Thank you so much for this. I love it. This also seriously helps so much with my calf. I can really dig in there and loosen up all of that tension that I get. And then, oh my God, if you have a partner that can hit you and get your back, and oh my God, it is wonderful. So, like I said, if you're not on a budget, these 2 tools are amazing, Hypervolt and RubBall. And then if you are on a budget, I would recommend the Body Back Buddy and a foam roller, pretty cheap. So I'll link all that stuff in the description. Yeah, this totally seems like some type of like paid product promotional stuff, but I'm just trying to like hook you guys up with the tools that I use to recover and get back to training as soon as possible, because without all this stuff, I would have to take much longer breaks and I would be tricking much less. But yeah, all that stuff, good stuff. Good. Next, what do we got next? We got warming up properly. So I guess I'll just like go through like how I session typically. Not always like this, but typically get to the gym, do some running, couple laps, light tricks, light stretch. So light tricks and then stretch. And when I mean light stretching, I'm not holding a stretch for like 10 seconds. It's just bouncing, everything bouncing, you know, bounce. I don't know the truth of this. I read this a long time ago and I never like fact checked it. It seems like it's true. Don't quote me on this, but something about stretching too vigorously before exercising actually increases your chance of pulling a muscle because now your muscles are too loose. Makes sense, I guess. So running, light tricks, light stretch, kicks, and then I build up to hard tricks and power tricks, combo them if I can. When I start getting tired, I move on to experimental stuff. It's a little weird, and then once I kind of catch my breath a little bit, I'll try some more power tricks until I'm dead, and then drill some kicks, and then at the end of the session actually stretch and hold them and everything. I don't do the stretching until after the session. That also really does help with soreness, is stretching when you're done. So recommend that. Next aspect that is super important to getting good at flipping or tricking or tumbling or whatever it is that you do is goals. Creating goals for yourself is super important. Weird thing about goals is that you're always going to strive for more. Like when I first started tricking, all I wanted to do was learn a cork and land a cork. It took me 1.5 years from the first time I attempted cork to landing it. And once I got cork, I was like, I got a double. So then, same thing. From the first time I attempted double cork to when I landed it, took 1.5 years. Like, I remember just sitting in class and writing down combos that I'd want to do, or writing down my dream tricks, and just sitting there and obsessing over the tricks that I wanted to do. But another thing with goals is that you can't let them tear you down when it's difficult to reach them. Another thing that I used to do a lot was get so angry, super frustrated when I got really close to landing something but didn't land it. And like, if you think about it, what is there to be angry about? Like, you got that much closer to landing the trick that you want. That much closer. Like, that's progress. Always be happy with progress. You could sit there and be angry that you didn't land it, or you could sit there and be happy that you got that close. So it's up to you on how you want to interpret whatever it is that you're doing. Another thing about goals is the whole, I'll be happy when I can do this consistently. Don't think like that. That is bad. That is toxic. That you'll never be happy if you think like that. Because like I said, weird thing about goals is that you're always going to strive for more. Once I got cork, I wanted double. Once I got double, I wanted triple. So if you're sitting there saying, once I have this, I'll be happy, will you be? Or are you just gonna say the same thing about the next step when you get there? Instead of thinking like that, just enjoy the process of where you're at and where you're gonna be. There's no point into relying your happiness on somewhere that you hope to be. Just be happy now. Be grateful. Tricking's fun. Let's make it fun. Let's not make it angry and frustrating and scary. It's fun. It's not a big deal. We're just chilling, you know? All right, that's enough of that. And another thing is know when to throw in the towel when you're trying really hard to land something new. I always say that it's way better to land a cart dub 10 times than fall on a cart triple 10 times. So if you're falling too many times on the thing that you want, take a step back and drill the prerequisite. Next step, next aspect, not step, there ain't no steps. Now, mindset, another super important aspect. The why you're tricking is super important. I trick because I love to move. I can have fun just running around, jumping around, spinning in the air. But I have the most fun when I'm tricking and doing flips and spins and corks and all that fun stuff. But sometimes some things get in the way, like pressure. For example, for me, I was the first person to do stand double backflip on grass. And ever since then, I've been kind of known for that. And if you've known me before stand double back, I never really did double flips a lot to begin with. Maybe like in the old days on trampoline, but I never really did a lot on floor. And that was pretty tough for me. And then especially since I was making money through social media, I felt these pressures to like have to provide for my audience because I felt like that they wanted to see it. I mean, they do want to see it, but that doesn't matter. It's all about what I want to do. If I'm gonna be doing stand double backflip for other people, that's how I get hurt. I'm not doing it for myself. It's for another reason, not for me. And that's where you'd go wrong. And I'm not saying that I was trying to do stand double backflip for other people, but I'm just saying that with all those pressures about last year, it was getting pretty tough because I felt like I had to provide. I didn't want to do stand double backflip, and then that pressure made me feel like I had to do other power tricks, but I didn't want to. I felt pressured to, and it made it even harder to do the power until I eventually was like, screw it, I don't care. I'm gonna do what I want and have fun and get back to the roots of why I trick and have fun. And that's what I did. And once I started doing that, tricking became much more fun again, and my power came back. And I've been doing like so much power lately, but not the past like 4 days because I hurt my freaking groin on a cheat 7, but that's not the point. Yeah, pressures, the why you're tricking, staying true to your roots, do what you want to do, don't do it for any other reason. As long as you want to do whatever it is that you're doing, that's all that matters. Like if someone asks you to do something and that's something that you want to do it. But if someone's like, oh, do this trick, and you're like in your head, you're like, no, like, oh, I might get hurt. Like, don't do it. Don't give in to the pressure. Do what you want. Seriously, I can't emphasize that enough. Yeah, tricking is the most fun when you do what you want. But you can't take that too far because, like, you know, all I technically really want to do is triple cork. I've always wanted an easy triple cork, but it's actually the only thing that I don't have is a consistent triple cork. Triple cork is so hard for me, but I find other really fun things, and I don't get so fixated on how hard triple cork is for me, and I still really enjoy everything that I'm doing in the whole process and journey. So yeah, always keep that in mind too. Next aspect is rest. Rest. Oh my God, I was so bad at rest. I can't even begin to explain how bad at rest I was. Like 2011 was probably my worst year. I was tricking a lot. I was young. I didn't have a strong body. I didn't have a strong core, and my back hurt a lot. And I'm sure at some point during 2011, I simply strained my back, but I refused to stop training. I refused to stop. I really did. And I would take ibuprofen before sessioning and all this. And oh my God, my back was hurting so much until I eventually finally just rested, and that fixed the issue. Also, just constantly just having small injuries, just small pains in the knee, behind the knee, under the knee, a weird just sharp pain behind my shoulder, just a lot of that. And I would always push through it. And honestly, if I didn't push through it and just rested, I would not have had the pain for so long. So rest is seriously just as important as training. When you feel your body is overused, rest. And when you're resting, use all these fun tools to help speed up the recovery process. All right, on to the next one. We have breathe during combos. Oh my God, this helped me so much. Breathe during your combos, especially swing chains. The point that I breathe at is in the eagle. I don't think I breathe on every cork. I try to do like every other. But towards the end, like if I'm on like cork number 7, I'm like, so breathe during combos. Don't hold your breath the entire time. You're gonna have so much more power and energy at the end of your combo if you're breathing. It seems like a very simple concept, but it's actually pretty hard to apply. But once you get into the habit, it is very easy to keep at it. So yeah, breathe during your combos. It really will help. Next, time. Seriously, I cannot even begin to explain how much time I have spent doing flips. This is probably the number one aspect to get good. Not even at tricking. Literally anything. Just do it a lot. Spam it. Drill it. Just do it a lot. You're not gonna get good at something by thinking about it and thinking that you wanna get good. Drilling and spamming is going to get you better. I never really trained as in like, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna do 10 corks, I'm gonna do 10 double corks, I'm gonna do 10 double fulls. I just wanted more always. I attacked my tricks so hard, even when I really wasn't ready to attack the next step. I was going through footage the other day and I found clips of me doing J-step double cork on the floor like literally 15 times in a row, and this was in 2012, and I'm pretty sure I was trying to swing it. I never even got my foot through. I landed on both feet every single time, but I tried it 15 times. And then I found another session where I did like 12 J-step double corks on grass. Like I was just spamming. Like I'm sure I could just like keep going through like 2012 where I'm just like spamming. That's super important. It's just spend a lot of time tricking. That I can't emphasize how important it is. So yeah, whether you go to the gym and think of 10, 10, 10, or just go to the gym and be like, I'm gonna just do as many of these until I can't anymore. Either way, just as good. All right, so if you've watched up to this point of the video, you're probably super passionate about tricking or flipping or whatever it is that you do. So that's why I kept this for the end. And I just want to speak about KojosTrickLab. Alrighty, so I just want to speak about KTL really quickly because I'm sure you probably already know about it. And if you don't, this is the site right here. They actually just updated the website, so it's brand new. And for the entire month of January, you can sign up for just $1 for your first month. And I definitely recommend hopping onto this opportunity because there are not too many sales for KojosTrickLab. Seriously, there's so many talented individuals on here who have so much to offer. So yeah, definitely recommend. And then before I end this video, just go through the whole list really quick. Finish your combos, even if you mess up. Eat healthy and drink a lot of water before session. Study yourself and other trickers. Exercise, stretch, recovery tools. Warm up properly, making goals for yourself. A strong mindset, doing what you want and what's important to you. Resting, breathing during combos, spending a lot of time training, and then also signing up to KojosTrickLab if you're interested. And that's really all I have to talk about today. I hope that all these aspects could help you with your tricking or flipping. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for today. Let me know what kind of videos you want to see next. And yeah, I hope this helps. Ow, my groin.